Right, tell me about some of the highlights from 2024, David.
So these were some 2024 uh, talking points, big things that happened this year. The first one, Chapel Roan.
Not the election. Chaperone, as it should be.
Yeah.
I agree.
American singer-songwriter climbed worldwide charts this year, became really big.
Go America.
And she received a lot of contempt from people for not endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris. And she said there are both problems on both sides and used critical thinking. She goes on more with that quote with what she was saying. But people were saying you're ignorant and things like that. But I think she still responded with dignity. I think she was passionate. She was passionate about how she was saying it, and you could tell in the video from my perspective that she was frustrated with people maybe twisting her words. But like the Dignity Index says, be critical of. I think she was being critical about how people are contributing to the problem of contempt. And am I part of that problem, or is my party, or who I'm voting for, part of this contempt problem? And I think she called that out, and people didn't like that, and people were mad that she wouldn't endorse a candidate.
I think it's really interesting because I felt like there was a day where celebrities were told, like, don't talk about it. No, you're not going to endorse anyone. And that's really changed. Like Taylor Swift, right after that debate, came out and endorsed Kamala Harris, which is really interesting to me because, I don't know, I just feel like celebrities endorsing a political candidate is odd to me because it makes sense if there's a specific issue. Maybe they've got some sort of charity that they're really into or that they've started and that candidate supports the charity. Like, that would make sense to me. But to support an entire political candidate as an artist, as a songwriter, is really
interesting.
It doesn't make sense.
I mean, I feel like it can also be a good thing. Like, use your platform for what you think is, what you think are good things. Which she also says, like, people should vote for whoever they think in their mind is the best option for what we're presented with. And so it's like, yeah, just you have a seat at the table.
You
too.
do you, boo-boo.
Yeah, like, she's still, which is on the dignity side of the index still. Like, this is your country, you have a right to be heard.
Yep.
Which I really like.
5 and up.
5 and up. The second...
Okay, wait, though. Like, think about it. Imagine if Tim Gunn, remember Tim Gunn from Project Runway? Where he's like, oh, that's not good. Like, imagine if Tim Gunn was, like, endorsing. I just feel like it would be so strange. You'd be like, oh, I don't know. I think we should actually have more endorsements from celebrities, but, like, make them a little bit more.
Or, like, why?
You guys remember Annoying Orange on YouTube?
No.
No?
Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Annoying Orange. I would love an endorsement from like, I want to know who does Annoying Orange support. Anyways,
let us know what you think about celebrities endorsing candidates.
An unexpected celebrity endorsement.
Yeah.
Not who they're, like, you're not surprised. You're surprised that they even said anything.
Right. The second, one of the second big topics this year was Wicked. A big hit movie this year.
Is that where the "you're gonna be popular" came from?
That is.
I had no idea. See, I've never seen Wicked. I'm very excited to see the movie.
I'm not a musical person, but I really like this. It was long, but it was awesome. And there are several scenes throughout the movie that showed dignity and contempt, us versus them language, seeing people as people. But I think one of the most powerful responses to contempt that I loved was at the end of the movie. She has everyone turn when she finds out the Wizard of Oz isn't who she thinks he is, and wants to do her own thing, and doesn't just go along with it. She pushes back, which is what I like about the Dignity Index. We're not like, everybody jump on board. Like, we can push back against people. So she pushes back, and everyone gets turned against her, and she's an enemy that needs to be captured. She's evil. The green skin is a manifestation of her twisted nature. She's a wicked witch.
She's just Olive, okay?
So she gets all of this contempt.
She needs some color analysis
on her, and Galinda tries to get her just to apologize and smooth it out with Oz, but she stands her ground, and she's not playing by the rules of someone else's games, and is defiant. But she never, not once, uses contempt against the people who are using contempt against her. She never uses language that others, other people, or incites actions against somebody else. She's like, I'm defying gravity, I'm defying you guys, but she doesn't use contempt or belittle or dehumanize these people who have said these awful things about her. And I think that is one of the greatest scenes of dignity this year that I saw.
Well, it kind of sounds like an 8. Like, having your skin turn green and still refusing to demonize the other side.
Like, every point, yeah, like, stabbing her in all the places. I thought, yeah, you need to watch it. If you haven't watched it, watch it.
If you haven't watched it, you're a loser. And I say that in the most dignified way possible.
That's
you're gonna be popular.
Another big thing this year was Hurricane Helene. In September, it was one of the, deadliest hurricanes in U.S. history. And even though there was a lot of support across the nation and within communities, we also saw how the political side, if there's contempt, it breeds contempt. Donald Trump said about Joe Biden, he won't even get on the phone and talk to the governor. And the vice president is out campaigning looking for money. And the response to that was, he's lying, from President Biden. He's lying. I don't know why he does this. It's irresponsible. Which I feel like a lot of times people are like, yeah, but like, where do we fact check people? Or like, where do we hold people accountable? And I think you can do that without using contempt, calling people liars or saying that they're irresponsible.
Yeah, give us the receipts, like, tell us what you did.
Right.
Then I'll call them a liar for you, Biden. Don't you worry, baby girl.
But I mean, we even saw that in the debates of like contempt, just back and forth. Instead of talking about policies, like, where are the policies talking points? Like, they missed so many points. All right, another big thing happened this year in March.
Sports ball.
Iowa's
Lions,
Caitlin
Tigers, and
Clark
Bears
became the NCAA Division I all-time career scoring leader, and was later recognized as a GOAT by rival team's coach Don Staley.
You are the GOAT. It's like one of my favorite clips ever.
Yeah, you can take a look at this clip.
We'll put it in for you.
And I want to personally thank Caitlin Clark for lifting up our sport. She carried a heavy load for our sport, and it just is not going to stop here on the collegiate tour. But when she is the #1 pick in the WNBA draft, she's gonna lift that league up as well. So Caitlin Clark, if you're out there, You are one of the GOATs of our games, and we appreciate you.
But the day before this clip, then Coach Stanley said Clark needed to win a championship to be considered one of the greatest players of all time. But I think in reference to the Dignity Index, I think she was open to changing her mind, further acknowledges skills and accomplishments of somebody else, and seems to consider how she might be contributing to this polarization of contempt by saying, actually, didn't win a championship, but she still is one of the GOATs of this game, and she elevated this sport and women's sports, women's basketball, and that was a great display of dignity as well. Okay, the last point. Debates, elections, and politics. I know it's been a year full of that, but there are 2 tweets that I wanted to read to see if you can identify the dignity from someone who you might not support politically. And you can do it as well. So the first one says, as Americans, we are bound together by a single fate and a shared destiny. We rise together or we fall apart. The second one is, our unity is our strength and our diversity is our power. We reject the myth of us versus them. We are in this together.
We're all in this together. Yes, we are. Today is the day.
But both of those are high on the Dignity Index. One of them's from Donald Trump, and one of them's from Kamala Harris. Do you know which one is which?
Okay, I'm gonna guess, as Americans, we are bound together by a single fate is Trump. And our unity is our strength and our diversity is our power is Kamala.
You're right. Good job.
Thank you. Yay, I'm good at this.
Did you get that right? It's interesting to see both of those next to each other like that. In August, the Dignity Index CEO, Tim Shriver, said, but there is no agreement on what unity means or how you get to it, and so there is no shared view on how to watch politicians say they're for unity and hold them accountable for keeping their promises. And I think it's easy to say, like, both Harris or Trump, it's hard to believe that you want this unity, but they both said it, and a lot of us are wanting that change of unity. And so how do we look forward to next year and hold our leaders accountable, or these people in power, or people of influence who say these type of things of like, we rise together or we fall apart. It's not us versus them. How can we reward those who use dignity and make it backfire for those who use contempt?
I think we need to go back to the basics. So, my mother potty trained me with M&Ms. Maybe we need to only like posts that are dignified.
I mean, what content are we clicking on, right?
Yeah, what are we supporting? I think one of the best things about the Dignity Index for me is being able to recognize the contempt that I didn't see before. We all have blind spots with contempt. I don't care how dignified you are as a person, there's something where you probably won't be able to see it.
Right.
And so I think just becoming more aware of the contempt and dignity that we are consuming is really important, because we want to increase the dignity and probably lower the contempt. Sometimes what is the guilty pleasure that you are watching that is very contemptuous? Mine is definitely online commentators. If you do a live stream, you're probably using a little bit of contempt. It's very unlikely that, at least, I don't know. Let me know if there's a dignified live stream. I would love to watch it. But I notice a lot of the stuff that I like to have on the background is actually just it's like that sound on TikTok where people are screaming and glasses are breaking.
Yeah.
Why is that my background noise?
Yeah. So, yeah, for this, as we review 2024, and look at these moments of contempt and dignity, try to find how much dignity and contempt you used in your own life.
Yeah, I agree. And that's a wrap
Have
for 2024.
a great new year.
Have a happy new year.
And you can use the sound, and that's a wrap. What is it?
And that's a wrap.
And that's a wrap for the 2024 year, you know?
And with that, the
You know what I'm talking
2024 season comes to an end.
Good. Bad.
And cut.